Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. And something came up tonight. Xanadu made a comment. And go check out his channel. He's got a lot of good information. He raised the question about the meal, how did I like it? And I got to thinking about it, and I was writing to him, and I got to the part where I needed to put or write it had its issues, but because I didn't know how to spell issues, I decided to do a video. I know that's funny as fuck, right? Anyway, I decided to go ahead and do a review on it. I've had it long enough and seen enough problems with it, and the things I like about it and things I don't like about it, to do a review on it. So I just got this vise today or yesterday in a nice deal that you guys just seen, and this was in the drawer, and I like it. It's a nice, I really like that vise, and it's brand new. It was still in the box, the original box. I already threw away. Actually, no, I didn't throw it away. I put it in my toolbox. Anyway, let's start off with, I guess we'll just get right into the bad stuff. Alright, if you guys notice, I have one of these cradling, and I'll show you here. Cradling where this pivots. Let's see, underneath here, you notice there's a bolt right there, a nut in the bolt. Alright, this here is your angle. Alright, well, this bolt or nut will not tighten up tight enough to keep this from shifting in whatever direction the blade got caught. And that done that on me twice. So I had to put a clamp on it that rode both sides of that there, and the same thing over here, and clamped it down to so tight that can't go no more. Alright, and it's still a little off. So this shouldn't even be being able to change the angle shouldn't even be an option for this. I don't think it was a smart design, considering how flimsy it is. Alright, the other thing that I have a problem with is these two things right here. A combination of the wrench. This is supposed to be your spanner wrench. Alright, and you got to pull the cap, and let me get that down. And I hate these things. I don't even use them. They're in the way. I got a drill press. I don't need this for a drill press. Yeah, I just leave them off. Alright. The problem with this is, if you look, find something to point here with. If you look at that line right across that, that's all the deep that this goes into it. They still had that much more they could have drilled that out to put the whole thing in. Well, what's happening is this here has gotten rounded off. Somehow it got rounded off, and it's because this is, let's see, the hole's not as long as this is, or the hole's not as deep as this part is. So it's just pivoting right there and pulling itself out because it's basically a square hole. So this won't hold very much, so I can barely get enough tension on my bit to just keep it in place. So, you know, this is a piece of junk. Basically all this is good for is to chamfer that, make a point on it, and use it for a center punch. That's about it. And it would make a pretty nice one for wood. So it needs a real spanner wrench for that. So, you know, this here should have been a little bigger, the top, but I can understand why they did it that way. So that's a preference thing. You know, this is just a 1/4 inch. I mean 8mm. And it don't even fit it very good. Look at the slop on that already. Get that piece of dust off of it. Look at that. It's awful. Come on, guys. Come on, Grizzly. And it could stand a little more height. Another 2 inches. And I understand that the next one is the g0758, I think it is, or 74, I can't remember, but it's the next one up from this one. This one's an okay one. I actually have too big of a vise in here for this mill, and I bought this vise thinking that the 704 wasn't much different than this. I just thought it was different options that was on it, but apparently there's a big size difference. So it's a nice mill for the hobbyist. Which I guess I would be borderlining. I guess I'm a hobbyist, machinist, woodworker, electrician, welder, / all that stuff. Auto mechanic, Bob the Builder. I've been called everything. Anyway, let's get back to the task at hand. We also have the issue with the crank. Alright, the thing I don't like about this crank is if you're going down, it's just as easy as pie. But going up, it acts like it's really freaking hard. So I don't know why it's like that. And it takes such a good effort that you have to put your hand in there in a way that then you start hitting your hand against the side of this, because you're only a ½ inch, 40 or ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch away, maybe an inch, and it's a little hard to work with. Now going down, it's perfect. You know, you can just do it with 2 fingers or 3 fingers, and it's getting easier and easier as it gets all the way down. So that could have actually been stepped over here with a gear in it so that you didn't have to be fighting this box. This box is in the way, but the motor's there, so it has to be there. But they put that in a corner, basically. The other thing that I don't like about this, and this is a preference thing, this panel, which is the one I made new and stamped them out, this goes in there just like so. Alright, I don't like those in there because, let's pretend that's in there, which is in there now. When you go in, I don't like the way it pinches that and tries to rip it up. So it also keeps you from going further. You're already limited how far this thing will travel. You know, you're already borderline not having any travel at all. So, you know, every little bit helps. So I just took mine out. And I'm not worried about the stuff getting down on my lead screw, because I can get all that stuff out there. And I always take my brooms, my little brushes, and you know, I'll brush everything out with my vacuum cleaner sitting here working on it, you know. So that shield, to not have to fight with it, is well worth the effort it takes to clean that out. So it can be a really decent machine for little stuff. When I first got it, the DRO didn't work. I had to ship the other one back, and that was kind of a hassle to get them to ship me the new DRO. I don't like the shield. I took mine off because it just got grease all over it. It slung into the glass. That was an aggravation I wasn't going to put up with. So I had the switch fixed so that it can't bother me anymore. The dial is really, really touchy. I mean, seriously touchy. You can't hardly dial that thing in really close to what you want. You have to get a roundabout. So if you're looking for 550 RPMs, you might get lucky that you got the RPMs that you wanted. But you might end up having to stop at 575 because every time you try to go any further, it goes way past it. So it's really touchy. It's just a hair trigger potentiometer is what it is. I don't like hair trigger potentiometers. Again, it's a nice machine. It looks good, and I like it. It's just teaching me how to get things done with minimal tools. With the cheap stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with that, right? So that's my review on my Grizzly g0758. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. I guarantee you, if you send me a question, I'll know it within 5 minutes. Unless I'm out here. And even when I am, I got my phone with me and it tells me if I get an email. So, I'm going to sign off so that Mr. Xanadu can get an answer to his question. You guys have a good one. Later.